interest, people look at interest, I look at interest more as a penalty. You got interest. They say interest, but it's basically more like a penalty, because basically when you go to a car lot and they say $20,000, balloons and everything on the window of the car. Nobody taught you financial education. You never learned how to make your money work for you, so you never knew you $20,000 to have is impossible. My mama didn't have it, her mama didn't have it. We was this generational curse. So if you talking about, we ain't got no 20, exactly. So since you see on the window with these pretty balloons, I want $20,000 for this car. Obviously, you ain't got enough to give me that, so you only got $2,000 to put down. Tell you what, I'm gonna let you get it, but I'm gonna add another $15,000 of penalties, which we're gonna call the interest on top of that $20,000. So you'll pay $35,000. Your car note gonna be $600 a month. But since you're gonna sign the paperwork because you're so happy to ride off with it, you don't know that your car note is only $300 a month, and $300 going to interest for you not having enough money to buy the car. So now when you late, you wonder why you can't never pay the car off, and they repo it because the interest so high. Right. When you pay it late, interest compound daily. Right. So now your whole money going to interest. All you doing is renting a car. You know what I mean? So, but what got me is from the predicament that I came from. And again, I'm like, okay, if I went to prison, you know what I mean? I dropped out of high school. I don't recommend, you know what I mean? I don't recommend that, but it was just my life. It's how I grew up. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I can't do nothing but get a job. And that's what I did. But I had child support, taxes and everything. So I'm like, oh man, I wonder, it's a revolving door. I'm about to go back to the penitentiary. I'm finna jump back out there. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm broke. You know what I mean? So when I started finally linking with people like Terrell, you know what I mean, linking with other guys in the industry and started learning different things, you know what I mean, I started realizing like, oh man, you know what I mean, people need to know this. People need to know this, and why we like to invest in different things and start different business, because we like to show people like, hey, you can do this. Not just talk about it. You can do this. This is what I'm doing. This is what we doing. You know what I mean? And understanding, as you know what I mean, that never be a teacher, always remain a student. I learned so much when I thought I knew a lot, but when I got with my wife, I learned a lot more. She was stronger in other areas that I wasn't strong in. When I met Terrell, he was stronger in other areas that I wasn't strong in. But when you link with these type of people, you begin to learn different knowledge. And the key to knowledge, the key to even being financially successful is having financial discipline. We can talk about financial every day, all day, but check this out. I know people right now, because we have tax offices, I know people right now, they get back an extra $100 a week in their paycheck. That's an extra $400 a month. Mm-hmm. So this is where the financial discipline come in. Right. What you gonna do with that $400 a month? Right. Now, you got a $400 car note? Do you want to substitute that and pay that, or do you want to go and look at the bigger picture to financial success and say, I'm gonna still struggle and pay that $400 a month, but I'm gonna take this other $400 that I never seen before when I adjusted my W-4, and I'm apply this to the principal of the loan. Right. So now, since that's going to the principal, I know the interest is based on how many years it's going to take me to pay this car. But since I'm hitting that interest on a compound end, where we got to refinance that because that interest rate ain't right. So now the interest goes down, and it's like you pay it off quicker. So now the car paid off. Now remember, you got the $400 back in the check. Now you got the $400 that was going out on the car. Right. Now you got $800. So financial discipline, you move to the next thing. Mm-hmm. So guess what? Now when you do that with your little furniture, notes and stuff, say you got an extra $1,200 extra a month coming in the household that you weren't getting at first. Now it's time to make your money make money for you. Because I only have is two things, and people kill me this all the time, and I always get religious. But check this out. I tell people this all the time. Because in my community, where we come from, religion is big. You know what I mean? We go to church when we struggling, Lord Jesus, help us, you know what I mean? But the thing is about it is, at times we have to wake up and understand that sometimes we can even make him look low down when he ain't. Because the thing is this. If you work for a company that make millions of dollars a year, and there's nothing wrong with the job, if that's what you like, then that's cool. But you know what I mean? But we can't say, God said, if you live good, do what you're supposed to do, what I'm going to give you is eternal time. Or you're going to live forever, that means time's never run out. So you get a little peace and get old in real life and get 24 hours of the day. And then also say tomorrow ain't promised to you. So we have to break out of that mindset and start taking our time seriously. Yes. Only reason I'm where I'm at, and Terrell is where he at, and even you guys is where you at, because you take your time serious on another level. It's just a levelness of how you spend your time. And that's what we like to travel and teach. And people tell us, like, I know they tell us this all the time, even when we're on live, man. It's real. They say, y'all giving out too much free information. Y'all giving out, you know what I mean? Listen, y'all need to make money off that, different this and that. But see, it's an epidemic. Because see, if you know where I came from, then you know. If you know where he come from, then you know why it's important to get it free. Because you got to know how I feel to sleep on the couch. You got to know how I feel to not get Christmas gifts. You got to know how I feel to miss school clothes and wear Sega shoes from Payless. You got to know how it feels. So it's a different type of feeling. So you know what I mean? That's what we do. We try to get out here and just preach it to the masses. That's why we really do appreciate you guys letting us on here, being able to do this. Because again, everybody won't act, but you know, it's somebody else. We blessed so many people throughout our time. It's not everybody, because again, financial discipline. I can talk about this all day. But how bad you want it? How bad you want it? If you ain't used to getting an extra $400, do you want to go kick it? Do you want the new J's every time they drop out? Or do you want to sit back and sacrifice for the long run? Because the truth of the matter is, you're going to need money 2 times in your life. So if you're healthy and able to work and get it, well, then start creating a foundation and get with the right people and understanding how to have money when you're not able to work, because the day going to come where you're not able to work.
And unfortunately, people got to, you know, experience low pain points, you know, in order to make a change. You know, I just advise everybody to not wait till, you know, something bad happens, something catastrophic happens, in order for you to decide to change and become disciplined, you know, so that you can be successful in your endeavors. You know, you don't have to wait till something bad happens, and that's unfortunately the case for most of us, you know. So I just wanted to put that out there, though.
Well, you both have given a lot of information, and so don't let nobody tell you not to give nobody information. Because we do. We're at a point in our community, it is much needed. We talked about it earlier, even between segments, just that mindset. And there's so many people that it has to be reprogrammed, because that generational curse is real. You know, that same mindset, everybody doing the same thing. And it's funny when you talked about the card note. So many people, and I've been doing media and marketing for a long time. These even buy ads in the area. They look at the statistics, and those numbers don't lie.
They don't lie.
You know, they build prisons based on the literacy rate. People get upset. You can't get upset when the numbers don't lie. What you got to do is come in here and let's change. Let's change what they base these numbers off of. So I mean, financial education information is very important. It's one of those tools that keeps so many in our community from even being able to follow their dream, follow their vision. Start that business, sustain that business. You know, even folks that are starting businesses and don't even have that most basic business education, because they think, oh, I can just do that, and so-and-so loan me some money. No. So that credit is so important. So I wanted to ask you guys, because we kind of touched on this earlier, but I definitely want to get your input. The misconceptions about credit in the African American community. Which ones do you feel like you just really need to let the folks know about? You know, what do we need to dispel today? And I'm sure there's more than what we can do in our time, but you know, I would love to change somebody's mind out there.
The number one misconception. Then we talked about it before. You know, I mentioned some things, but just from your standpoint, from your experience, from your viewpoint. In your expertise, what do you feel is the most, you know, misrepresented thing about credit when it comes to the Black community?
First of all, me personally, just from what I learned and what I know, and also what my wife taught me over the time, score. See, a lot of times when we get pressed on, especially in the community, that's the first thing you hear. My score is this. I want my score to go up. How I got a 6 something. How do I get to a 7 something? And never looking at that. One of the main things in credit, and when it comes to credit, companies know that. When it comes to those people with the lack of financial education, that's what they look at, score. And then I have so many different clients that say, hey, I got a 700 credit score, and I added trade lines, but why I can't get this, and different things of this nature, because it's not about the score. It's about the factors that make up the score. And people have to understand and really just learn how to understand a credit report. That's why the government give us 1 free credit report a year from annualcreditreport.com, because see, you want to look at how many accounts do I have? How many accounts in collections that I have? Because no matter if you have a 650, 680, 700 credit score, if they run your credit, you say my score is 7, okay, but what you want looking at, I see you got 2 collections over here. So that show me that you, whether you got a 7 or not, you got a couple people you ain't paid back.
Right.
So what makes you think you ain't gonna pay me? You gonna pay me back.
Right.
Second of all, you got a lot of closed accounts and different things which harm you.
Right.
Second of all, you got a lot of addresses, which we change addresses and phone numbers all the time in our culture. That's just what it is. But again, these people don't know us, so they base it off what they're looking at on their credit. So when they look at that, they look at it like, well, this all these addresses and all these phone numbers, they can't even stay stable. So I know they can't keep all these jobs. I know they can't pay me. They can't keep a job.
Right.
So if I do give it to them, I'm gonna raise their interest and everything up. So I think the main thing is, and a lot of thing is Miss Crew, people think that when they got different collections, they have to pay them. And like I have people that's like, man, I don't pay $9,000 extra, and then they really get older people. Older people that drive trucks and trying to do right, got families, they just want it off.
Right. They
understand and credit a little bit. They might have messed up, so they will continue to pay. But the thing is, what they don't understand when it's charging off again, they gotta take a financial tax break or whatever on their debt, because again, when a company give you some money, whether it's a credit card or not, they smart enough to know it's a chance that you ain't gonna pay it back.
Right.
They smart enough to know that. So if they know it's a chance on you not paying back, in order for them to give it to you, it gotta be some strategies, or it gotta be something implemented in place where they can still kind of win and not take a heck of a loss.
Right.
So therefore they can take it on a write-off. And what happens is it's so grimy that they say, even though we took this write-off, now let me make some more money. I'm gonna sell this file to the collection agent.
Right.
We took a write-off, but Terrell, he owed $2,000. I got a couple, about 10 files of it. I'll sell it to you each file.
Pennies
They owe
on the
2,000 pennies on the dollar. So why collection agencies, what happened is, collection agency tactic is, that's why a lawyer say on TV, collection agencies calling you, harassing you, call us. They do that is because they bought the file at a low rate and they need to get you to pay it off impulse, scare tactics.
Right.
We need you gonna pay that, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. So you get most older. Go ahead.
Yeah, you speaking about that, we just have to, and I like warning people when they do call. Now, you probably was getting that, but
Go ahead.
when they do call, do not talk to them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because they're trained. They're highly trained to get you to admit that it's yours.
Right.
Now, yeah, you probably owe the other company,
Right.
the original
Still-
creditor.
Gotcha.
You don't owe them anything. You know, and yeah, you might owe them $200-300, not them, but yeah, you might be in debt $200-300 to your knowledge, but you do not have to pay that. And if you do want to pay it, it's okay. But let's get a letter, an agreement in place before you pay that. Use that as leverage to be able to get that removed from your credit report, because the credit bureaus do not remove. They're not obligated to remove that, or the collection agency is not going to just remove it. Once they get that money, they like, they're not worried about you. They not. It's no type of urgency to do anything that you request. But when you have that leverage, you got the money that they want. That's if you have it. If you really want to get it off as quickly as possible, we can write up a letter, a pay for delete letter, a lieu delete letter, and an agreement like, okay, if I pay this on X date, will you agree to remove it or stop reporting it to the credit bureaus? Some will say that they cannot remove it, but if they agree to any of those terms, then you can get it removed, guaranteed. So never talk to them, because once you verify your identity,
Right.
they know it's you. Then you verify your address. Now you basically admitted that it's yours. But like I said, they're trained. So when the way they ask questions to get you in the bind to where it looks like you're actually admitting it's yours. So you need not to communicate with them. Don't communicate with them by letter or by phone. That's why it's important to talk to credit specialists and professionals before you deal with your credit if you're not sure.
Now, I can guarantee somebody watching, somebody listening, did not know that. Again, just repeat, y'all don't have to talk to them. Because,
Right.
like I am a resident